Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 47 of Malt and Magic Campaign 2. Going to be an exciting one tonight. But before we get into seeing what M has got to say, or Mayon has got to say, I should say, let's run down our usual shout-outs and thank yous. So I'll try and get this done as quick as possible. So the tools we use, a big thank you to Incarnate, Albo Radio and Dungeon Alchemist for all things virtual tabletop and mapping. A big thank you to D&D Beyond for everything D&D game management. Also to Hero Forge and OpenAI tools and stuff for just sort of character visuals and character creation and those different pieces. And then the DM's tools that I use in the background that you can see along the bottom there. So Kassoon, 5e Magic Shop, 2 Minutes Tools, the Thieves Guild, and World Anvil. Any of the musical tracks you hear are courtesy of either Tabletop Audio or BattleBard, so please go and give them a quick check out. As I said for the last few weeks, and I've said before, Tabletop Audio is mostly free unless you're doing anything super commercial, so it's a great little resource there. So yeah, go check them out, and we are continue to be partnered with BattleBards, which means every now and again we get to give a little month subscription away. We will, as I've said, look to do that again. I'm just waiting for a response, and as soon as I get that, we can go. I want to thank a fair few collaborators and different sort of creators tonight, because our community is growing, which is great, not just from a fan base, but also our connections into the TTRPG community. Can't even get it out. So, of course, our biggest thank yous to Homie and the Dude and the Eldritch Press. Homie and the Dude continues to support us, and of course Tom and Bodhi continue to be with us as part of the Malt Magic family as well, and we are eternally grateful. But also a huge thank you to Fletch at the Eldritch Press, who I am very pleased to say will be joining us on the 12th of February, so please look out for that one. There will be a new guest star for a week, so yeah, do not miss that one. A massive shout out to Games, Gags and Geeks, who are currently streaming their Storm King's Thunder campaign, but also giving a spotlight to various creators in the community. So if you're not following them on their social media channels, which funnily enough is at Games, Gags, Geeks, then please go give them a look as well. They gave us a really good shout out at the end of their session on Saturday, so massive thank you to those guys. We love you all. And the other one I encourage you to go look at, encourage you to go listen at, is a friend I've made on Facebook, of all things. And they've got a podcast called The Children of Ash, which is set in sort of a dystopian world based on 5e rules. So it's very, very cool setting. So if you're looking for more D&D games, then go check that out as well. I've talked about social media. Please come and follow us on all of our social media channels as well. There is 1 day left to claim those Lex-inspired dice and clockwork type goodies as part of our Instagram giveaway celebrating 100 followers on Twitch and 200 followers on Instagram. So there are links to that from TikTok. There's links to that from Twitter or X as well. There's links to that from Threads. But Instagram is the place to be there to go and claim that, and there's a few instructions on how you can go and get in with multiple chances of winning that. Hopefully you are joining us on either Twitch or YouTube tonight, and welcome if you're on either of those channels. We love you all, we love the support, thank you very much so. But if you're joining us after the fact on YouTube or on the podcast as well, thank you for all your support with the podcast. If you're listening, please do just leave us a rating on review even on your podcast platform of choice. As I mentioned last week, we're also now on Audible and Amazon Music, as well as Spotify, iTunes, and all the other platforms that we can get on as well. And the place to be, if you're not already with us, is on Discord as well, where that community, as I say, is growing. There's discussions ongoing, there's fan art, there are homebrews from myself, and little theories and all sorts of stuff in there. So please come and join us on the Discord channel. And I do believe that's it. So I promised it would be quick. Not quite as quick as I was hoping, because I did have a few thank yous to get through there. But yes, do not miss out on that giveaway. Let's go see what type of clusterfuck we're about to descend into. So my usual warnings most certainly apply. There will be adult language and adult humour. You have been warned. Let's roll.
Oi,
Hey,
oi.
Ew.
there we go. Just recenter my
Game time.
Oh, come on.
Excellent stuff. How is everyone?
Yeah.
Ready.
Good.
Little tense.
Ready. Tom is there. Tom is ready to lay the smackdown on this bitch.
Fucking
Good stuff. Let's run down the lineup before we do descend into whatever chaos is going to ensue then. So I am Matt. I am your Dungeon Master for this evening, and also playing the psychic character of Mace, the Warforged Paladin.
I am Dave. I'm playing Jewel of Shadows, the female tabaxi rogue. It has been a long week for me, so my brain is mush. So forgive me for any randomness that comes out of my head.
That's every weekend.
Hello,
Yes,
and
every
I'm
week.
Danny, and hopefully you can hear me because my internet just went a bit wappy for a second. So if you can hear me, thumbs up. Good, I'm seeing nods. And I'm playing Lex Ordo, the UNT sorcerer, who ironically makes everything run like clockwork, unlike my internet.
incredible.
I'm Tom, the father half of Homie and the Dude, and I'm playing Kevin Buckland, a human barbarian. And I am so excited to meet Jules' family. It's going to be great.
What is up, everyone? I'm Bodhi. I'm the son half of Homie and the Dude, and I am playing Edgy as Bones, your edgy, boneless, or boneful bard sorcerer, and I am, man. I don't even know what to say about what's happening in front of me. So let's get into it, and we'll work it out as we get through this. Dear God.
Absolutely, as I just respond on Twitch. There we go. Yes, so last week was a lot of fun. We had our journey from the strange house in the mist, where we'd had a tarot reading, or at least Jewel had had a tarot reading the previous episode, and continued our journey into the forests of Dryamere, heading towards Stonebark Village out to the west. And stopping at one point not too far from the outskirts of the village as Jules started to recognise something of the surroundings, but also notice subtle differences. And there was a moment where a stone or some sort of projectile just whistled past all your heads, and a shadow emerged from the woods, only to reveal herself as Jules' younger sister, Bronze of Shadows, who then accompanied you on the rest of your journey into the village itself. And as you entered the village, you noticed some subtle changes to, or at least Jewel noticed some subtle changes to the people there, but also to some of the layouts as well. And there were 3 new statues which you'd been told of, which had appeared mysteriously, and you weren't too sure what was going on there. And so you wandered around, you saw these individuals that were wearing sort of strange leather and wooden armour, but with these lanterns built into the chest, Iron Man style, to give themselves light as they walked around. You understood that people, when it came to the dark, when it came to night time in the evening, they would all lock their doors and stay inside their well-lit houses. And so you journeyed on further forward, venturing towards Jules' house, or her childhood home, I should say, where she had grown up with her parents and her sister. You wandered past a well, and at this point Lex began to feel that little pull and used his abilities to understand that there was some kind of planar portal nearby, or something going on with the well. Understood that it was leading, or had previously led, or previously connected, or did connect to the plane of shadow, the Shadowfell itself. And it was in the moment as you wandered past the well, past these strange statues, that those statues began to come alive, and you were beset upon by 3 homebrew umbral gargoyles, which were a lot of fun to play, I have to say. And the battle ensued Having then defeated our foes after a fairly lengthy battle as well, knocking creatures down wells, and them disappearing into shadow and reappearing elsewhere, and making full use of your arsenal, you managed to vanquish them, and there was a moment where the shadows begin to sort of grow and rise, and then a spell was shouted out as you saw these drops of red just spray into the air and the shadows dissipate, and you turned to see facing you Jules' mother, Jules' father, and the raven-haired, or not even raven-haired beauty, the blood-red-haired beauty that was Mayon or Mayanora from Artemisia's Lyceum way back in Thalissa, episode 1 to 4, I believe, of this campaign. So, my friends, this is where we begin tonight, with Mayanora's hand still outstretched in that spell-casting pose with a tiny little blade, and you can still see the small wound that she's cut on her arm, which seems to be fueling whatever spell she's just cast. Jules' mother and father seem to just be looking on. And so, what are we doing?
So, Jewel is going to look at the three of them and then is going to pounce forwards and use her last Misty Step. She will get right up next to... use the Misty Step to clear the distance and will arrive in front of M, Mayon, and will put her dusk dagger to Mayon's throat. Tell me why I shouldn't kill you right now. And what are you doing with my parents?
Arm still outstretched as this spell sort of continues on, but Jewel, your mother, walks up and just places a hand gently on your wrist.
I am not going to move.
Not here, Jewel. Not here. There is much to discuss, but not here.
You are under some spell?
You know me better than that, my dear. I am not under any spell. And Jewel, your father then turns to you. Jewel, now is not the time. We are out in the open. We must move.
Jewel will say to Mayon again,
Who is that?
what have you done with them? You have them under your control.
I have done nothing with them. I simply came home.
Jewel, who is that?
Exactly.
Just give us the word, Jewel. We're ready. And I've got like a chromatic orb ready to go. I'm like,
Edges will take like Obi-Wan stance with his katana.
Your friends, if they try to harm me, I will fight back.
She'll move the blade away from her throat, stand up and look at her... She'll look at her mum. Can she be trusted?
Mayanora could always be trusted, Jewel. We have a lot to discuss.
Inside check!
Maybe an inside check.
As
No,
that
but
check is
seriously, who
happening-
is this person?
Yeah.
she's the person who framed us for murder.
That's her.
19.
That's we think that's him. Yes.
What about the other two? Are they with them?
Oh, I think that's Jules' mum and dad.
Damn,
Yet to be
that's
determined.
M?
Yeah, I should point out that Mayanora is fucking stunning. Like, lace dress with this blood red bodice that she wears, little rubies embroidered
Boobies?
into the lace as well. No, not boobies, rubies. Embroidered into the lace. This very long blood red hair that cascades around her shoulders. These piercing eyes as well, and just beauty. Half elven beauty.
Damn, I really saw you as like an old lady in my head.
Jewel,
What
why are we
form
not?
is Edius in right now? Is he in bone form or?
Yeah, he's in full
think-
bone
yeah.
form. He dropped his Mr. T form when all the battles started.
Maynor is just going to lean over. And you're a bit thinner than I expected.
Excuse me. Oh god.
Fucking
Choking
hell.
on my own spit.
It's everybody choking.
Jewel, it's okay. Get it up, Jewel. Get it up, Jewel. It's a hairball.
It's a hairball.
Sorry for the podcasters who just hear lots of coughing.
Can Jewel get an understanding? Maybe she can't. How powerful Mayon is.
Make me an Arcana check, please. I will say with your insight check as well, which I don't think we resolved. Your mum is as plain-faced as she always is. You don't get a read, but she certainly doesn't look like she's outwardly lying to you.
I mean, this is extremely apt for Jewel. It's a 4.
4. I mean, you've not seen this kind of magic before either. Like wounding oneself to then fuel a spell. There's something scary in itself about that, but she's also just dissipated a load of shadows in the area.
Why is this not an interrogation situation?
Yeah, I agree. Like, Lex, are they with the redhead, or are they captured by the redhead? What's happening right now? What's Jewel?
I don't
Why is
know.
Jewel frozen up there?
I'm
Jewel
going
would-
to approach, as I say to the crew. So you know, like when you've got a cop and you go, "I'm taking out my ID." It's a bit like that.
Nice.
So now I'll start moving closer.
Edges will go
As
back
you
to
move
back with
closer,
Cavan.
as you move closer, Mayanora is going to just where you've got your sort of blade not outstretched anymore, Jewel, but she's just going to touch your arm, and where there is a little bit of blood on your body, she's just going to take that and go, "I hope you don't mind about this," and she's just going to, and you see this red glow just around herself.
As she does that, I
What,
get tense again. You know, not knowing what the hell all this is about.
What did you just do with Jewel's blood? Jewel, are you with me?
I am.
You'll
Lex,
be fine. I am just making sure I'm going to be fine.
Lex, this
Well, that
is...
depends on how this conversation goes.
Yes, this is slightly more complicated, and I have to admit, if they can be trusted, it is better for this conversation to happen indoors. It is not safe out here. And we have a
That's
lot
the
of
first thing you've
questions.
said that's made sense.
If you're
we
willing
all
to
put
have
the
a
blades
conversation
down
with
now?
us, are you willing to be restrained whilst we talk, so you don't do none of that blood magic?
Absolutely not. If we're going to have a conversation, it would be a conversation where we all have our faculties and our agency.
Fine. Mayon, is it?
All right, lose the blade at least,
Mayon
so you can't cut
Or
yourself.
Mayanora, she takes the blade and just slides it into a small sheath at her belt.
As,
You may call me Mayon or Mayanora, either is fine. Mayon.
and so
How about
one question for me. Did you kill Artemisia?
No.
Do I believe her?
Make an insight check, please.
23.
Oh god, I don't have his name. Does anyone have fucking the husband's name?
Dad.
I'll do.
Mr. of Shadows.
No.
You
The
don't
husband.
No, the
Sen-
Go on.
Oh, the elder dude. Yeah, I know what you mean.
That guy.
You don't
Keith.
sense any lie again, Jewel, or any deception.
When I said M, was there a recognition on her face that that is an alias of hers?
Make me an insight check, please.
While that's happening, I turn to Edgius and I
Fuck.
say,
7.
"What is, like, does this feel like a double cross? Does it feel like confusion? Did Jules get it wrong the whole time? Are we being fucking played right now? Like, what's happening, dude?"
Dude, we just cannot trust her. And I'll tell you what, I have never been more thankful to not have blood in my body than right at this moment.
Yeah, it's not gonna help me, is it?
I once read this story. I would love to tell it to you one time about this guy called Kent, and he was like really strong, and he had this like thing that made him really weak. It was called like Iptonite or something, and I feel like me not having blood like could possibly help us. Anyway, this is neither here nor there. Up there, can we approach too? We're not like we'll hurt you if we need to, but like
Jules' father is going to turn to you. You may all approach. No one is getting hurt tonight. Is this understood?
Sure.
Tell that. Are you responsible for the gargoyles? What's all that about?
No, I am thankful that you arrived when the gargoyles revealed themselves.
Sorry, I was addressing Leonora.
Yeah, you don't really seem like the
Might we
ringleader
all
guy.
take this back home? Jewel, bring your friends. It is not safe to be out in the dark.
If I sense any of a trap, there will be no hesitation.
Why would I put my eldest daughter at risk, Jewel?
I trust you two. I do not trust her. That will have to be
Is
earned.
at home waiting for all of us. Let us go.
Then very well. I will follow them if they start going.
Very good. So, Jules' mother and father.
Can I say,
Go on.
because it's a cantrip, I'll say it to everyone in their head. Obviously, not simultaneously, but one after the other. Are you sure Jules' mum and dad, or to Jewel, I'll say your mum and dad, are not under her influence?
In your head,
Are
you'll
we
hear
in
the
danger?
response. Lex, I do not know. I am on my guard, and I am scared.
I turn to Lex and I just go closer to him and I say, if they're not under this M's influence, then they're part of the problem. Is that right? I mean, it's one or the other, isn't it? It's A or B.
But it could be a not a magical influence, but they might have just pulled the wool over their eyes. They might just be, I suppose, innocent fools.
Lex. Yeah, exactly. Because they're watching people from the village get fucking disappearing the whole time. They're watching the whole...
Whoa, Kevin, breathe. Only 3 people in a whole year. That's less than in most cities and most large areas. That's not a big disappearance numbers. We don't know that they have anything to do with it. Let's not jump to conclusions. Look, I don't trust them, and that's why you and I need to stay on guard. I'm staying in bone form, which I don't want to do around people, and you just got to be my fucking eyes as well. Let's just keep our shit together.
I'm chill, dude.
And
I'm just throwing out.
Let's back these guys up.
Let's just go in this with open eyes. I mean, Jewel obviously has an alliance to Jewel's parents, but we have an alliance to what's in front of us. So let's just read it as we read it, and hopefully Jewel's parents are on the side of, like, you know, they're on the good side. They're not part of the problem. And if they are, though,
so.
Yeah, dude. Keep an eye on Jewel. Also look out for Jewel's little sister, because I haven't seen her in a while either. And I'm not sure if she's like part of the big group, if she's been kidnapped, if she's been brainwashed. Like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah. Let's just keep eyes out. Lex, keep your eyes peeled. Edgius will say as he points back to Lex with the message cantrip. It's like, keep your eyes peeled, Lex. I know we trust Jules, but let's just pinch of salt. We'll go in. I assume we'll follow in behind.
Yeah.
Very good. So you are all led a short distance away to a reasonably sized house, actually. Jewel, Dave, describe your home for me, please.
The home that Jewel and Bronze have both grown up in is a modest dwelling. It has a section off to one side that her dad works out of, but it's not the main section. So he works a little bit there. It's a modest two-story little building. They're all, as I say, like part of the forest, mostly thatched and stuff. But you can see that there's definitely an upstairs. It's a little ways into, not directly in the centre of the village. And when going inside, everything just seems very. Nothing's overly nice, but there are many bookshelves around, and there are also quite a lot of nice decorative sconces, and the bookshelves are actually made where the way that the shelves are held up are with this very clever wrought iron stuff. You notice that they might have, from the look of it, made by her dad. So you got the mixture of his skill, his trade, with the fact that someone in the house clearly does like books.
Excellent stuff. And you are led in, and you can see Bronze is sat not at the table, which is laid out with a number of cups and glasses, but just in front of a fire that's burning. And she's just sort of sat there, and she has her sling out, and she looks like she's either tightening the string on it or just working on it and tweaking it to improve it.
As I'm the last one in, right before I'm let in, Mace is behind me. Can I just turn around and see if I have any observation of anything that's guarding the house, closing in on the house, anything at all, before I just say something to Mace?
Make me a perception check, please.
Can Jewel also see if there's anything out of place?
Mm-hmm. Same again, or investigation for Jewel. Go, Kevin.
16 for perception.
16 for perception. So you can see, as you look back, the shadows that have been dissipated, those sort of mist, that shadowy mist, seems to be not returning, but sort of building up in places again where it had been previously dispersed. Doesn't seem to be doing anything except just slowly settling down to the ground.
Okay.
You don't see anybody else about up until then. Two of these guards come walking around the corner, and their sort of torchlight from the chest burns out into this shadowy mist, and you see it sort of burns away under the light before reforming as they pass. But other than that, no.
As I'm going in, I turn to Mace and I say, if you're okay, stay out here. And if you feel like anything is closing in on this house that feels dangerous, knock on the window, throw a rock through the window, let us fucking know. Like, immediately let us know if there's danger that is approaching. Good luck, man, and wish us luck inside as well. And I step inside and close the door behind me.
Very good. Mace then just sort of nods to you, and then he's going to take a hand and just presses over the symbol of Paragon on his chest. Be with me, my lord. This looks like it may get ugly. And just, there is a glow as he casts protection from evil and good on himself.
As we walk through the door, or as we're approaching the house, walking through the threshold, Cog's going to come out of my pocket and start, well, to everyone else, it'll just appear like he's just squealing at me, clicking at me, like kicking off at me. And that's when I'll have the realisation, the portal, we left the portal open. And what do we do? The shut off our portal. I'll start freaking out about it as well. Do I go close it now? I can't leave you, but I can't leave them. What do I do?
Would you like to tell your friends to just
Cogs
calm
tugging
down
at me to try and get me to go out the
sit?
door.
Lex, we will get to that soon, I am sure. Please, I know it is of paramount importance to you to get it solved, as it is with me, but clearly bigger fish right now.
As Jules says this, Edgius is walking around the room with his wakizashi pointed at Mayon's throat, basically, and is just going to walk around the room and sit closest to the fire so that it's kind of glinting and shining off of the pale skeleton, and the shadows are kind of cast and making Edgius just look a little bit more intimidating as he's going to kind of sit there with his blade pointed at her. And just staring.
Make me an intimidation check, please.
Let's
Jewel,
fucking
what
do
was
it.
your investigation check?
26.
God damn.
There are a number of books that have been pulled out off the shelves and seem to be spread out on a desk near to the main set of bookshelves. You know this to be your mother's desk. And it looks like she's been searching through a number of different manuscripts and texts.
Forgive me, Ma, Pa. We have had, rather an issue in our travels with trust. And it all began when I was accused of murder, and we believe it was done by this woman here. The timing of her disappearance lines up exactly with when I was accused of a murder I did not commit.
Now, you've already said you didn't commit the murder, but do you know who did, and did you help frame us?
I didn't help frame you, no.
So
Do I
where
know
were
who
you?
did it? I suspect. Where was I? Running.
Who did it?
From what? From what? What would you be running from? It seems that we're running after you. We're cleaning up the messes that you seem to leave behind you. Thalisser, Mostacey. We're cleaning up
What
all
was your
messes.
intimidation check? Sorry, please, Edgius.
17.
Oh, wrong character sheet. Let's get the right one up.
As you're getting that up, I'm going to just look out the window and make eye contact with Mace. And we have a bit of a sign language thing, and I'm just going to direct him to go and question the guards of if there's anything that, how suspicious are these guards? Are they with us or are they against us? Are they truly guards of the village, or do they have some sort of ulterior feeling to them?
Okay. Mace will sort of take that and sort of raises a mechanical eyebrow, but then nods and wanders off to go speak to these guards. Maynor is going to look to that blade and look to you, Edgius. I understand you want answers, and I will be happy to speak to you. Please put that down.
See, here's the thing. Last time we did this and we put this down, for example, one of your associates almost fucked us up by putting us in contact with someone very dangerous. Now, with all due respect, you've been the pain in our side for the last as long as I can fucking remember. So I'm gonna keep this here for my safety and my other friend's safety, so I can turn you into a fucking shish kebab if I need to. And you can just answer my friend's questions. And then if we deem that you, after us following you for the amount of time that we have, are safe, then I will lower this. And then I shall apologize to you for our misjudgment of character. However, based on the information we have at the moment, there's not a fucking chance. So, back to my friend Jewel. Jewel, what were you saying?
I know Jewel said who did it, and
Yeah.
and this person didn't. They kicked the can around a little bit, but who fucking did it?
Did you witness it?
No.
Well, answer the fucking question. Who did it? You keep dodging the question.
You've asked me 4 questions in the space of 4 seconds.
One question. Who did it?
I don't know.
Danny, can you remember? Because I am struggling. Jewel had a vision of the hooded man
The
And-
hooked nose.
The hooked nose and hooded man. Now, is it our understanding that that is VS?
No, VS, I think, came from the books, the other books we were looking at when we were doing our research at the Crystalline Isle. I think that it was the Hooked Nose Journal where we found M in it.
Okay.
I fucking hope that's right. Matt's not giving anything away, so who knows?
No,
We can
no,
make
what
it
I'm trying to
history
do-
checks. That could be-
If this is in campaign, trying to figure out maybe history checks, and I can answer those questions for you.
I would be delighted, just because it will improve my questioning. Not that much, because it's a 13.
13. Lex.
Oh, shit. 7. Fuck's sake.
7.
I never make a good history
Lex
roll,
is
ever.
just floundering around. Lex is struggling with this whole concept that there's a portal that is to the Shadowfell and the whole shit could break loose at any moment. Thank you so much for the follow there. That's amazing.
Oh, okay. So, let me try and piece this together. We have indeed known recently that you were originally from this
Why
village.
do you keep calling me M?
Okay.
Is this some kind of colloquialism for making my name even simpler?
We know that your name is Mayon and Mayanora. We believed that you were working with the people in Thalessa who were working against Artemisia.
The
There
guy
was a
with the hooked
mention.
nose.
There was a mention of an M in their diary. Yes, they were hooded with a hooked nose, and I believe this individual killed Artemisia.
Make me insight checks, please.
Both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Woo,
Everyone,
18.
it doesn't matter.
18.
18?
Nice.
Oh, shit, that was meant to be. Both of you would see that when you mention hooked nose, there is a flash of fear in Mayanora's eyes.
This individual was someone we found underneath the temple, and when I came back to speak to Artemisia, she was dead, and you were missing. So, was it a troll, or was it a ogre?
Minotaur.
Minotaur. So, close with both of them. And so was the
Yeah.
Minotaur. Told you my
Excuse
brain's
me.
not going to be good tonight.
Excuse me, Matt. Just quickly before we progress on, as Jewel and Lex say, hook nose. Can I just remember back to the shadow dude that was presented to us after Dragon, after our little Dragon interrogation? Did he have a hook nose?
No. You didn't
Oh, what a
see
bitch.
the... Well, because all you saw was Dragon's form.
Oh,
Does
yes.
Klein
you're right.
have a hooked nose?
You're right. Great question. Does Klein have a hook nose?
I don't know, Edgius. Does Klein have a hooked nose?
Fucking hell.
See, you allow me to make this decision, and this shifts your whole fucking shit, my guy. That's
I was going to say, you know,
that's a fucking wild fucking decision to make as a GM. I love it.
you can say
Does
no,
he-
and he could shape change, or you can say yes, and it's a coincidence.
Do you know what? I'm gonna reserve my decision for until we know a little bit more about Mayanora.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we've given her the information about. Jewel believes it was this hooked-nosed individual who killed Artemisia, but that she left at a similar time, and that it was in his diary that we heard mention of M. And this is what we put two and two together. When we worked out your name, we believed you to be M.
Well, why did you look scared when you
Unfortunate
mentioned the
coincidence.
hook-nosed individual?
Why do you think I'm running?
So So how about this, guys? Let me just chime in as Edgius kind of thrusts the blade towards her.
And Jill would also put her hands, towards Edgius and just, sort of action to lower the sword. Like, this is now confusing.
Explain to me this. Give us your series of events, because as we understand it, you ran from Thalisser with around a similar time that my friends here were accused of murder. Then we find out that you settled for a period of time in Morstacy, and then after Morstacy, which some shit went down there, you killed a man, as we've been told, that you were having an affair with. We heard that he was kind and gentle, and that you were not either of those things to him. And essentially, the other thing that is a coincidence, which I'd love a bit of explanation. I'd love to let you explain some stuff, Maynor, because we're all sat here confused as fuck, and you seem to have all the answers. Why is there Shadowfell portals opening everywhere you fucking go? Because that's a weird coincidence, don't you think, as well?
Good question.
No, it's not a coincidence.
So it's you. So you're
No,
stating that
it's
that's
not me.
related to
It's
you.
Who I used to work for.
Used to. Ooh, that's it. That's a fun word.
Oh.
That's a fun word.
You
Keep talking.
Yeah, indeed.
You asked for my series of events.
Mm-hmm.
I let you into the Lyceum Jewel after hours. I have not long returned from entertaining your friend.
Yes.
As far as I knew, Artemisia was working. And then as you ascended the lift with the Minotaur, who DM's forgotten the name of, but I will figure out at some point. As you ascended the lift, I was beset upon by shadows, by wraiths, and I knew he was here. Now I'm assuming Artemisia sent you to look for something. You said he was in the temple. Had I known that, I would have left Thalisser a long fucking time ago.
Yeah,
Can we skip pronouns and just go names? Because you mentioned he. Let's just go straight to names so that we don't have to keep asking fucking questions, because I'm sure we're going to get bored of this back and forth.
Maynor is going to look towards Dream at this point. Jules'
Who's
mother.
Dream? Oh,
Mom.
Dream. Dream shadows.
And Dream is just going to look.
Sounds like a stripper.
We are unsure at this time as to whether speaking the individual's name will give them power to know where we are or know where Maynor is, so rather than she say it, you mentioned the initials VS.
Yes.
This is correct?
VS and JS.
VS and JS. Maynor, when she left here, a long time ago, left for the mages to the east, but was swayed by an individual known as Vane Shadowthorn. And Maynor at this point is just looking around, trying to
Vane
see if there's
Shadowthorn.
anything. Vane Shadowthorn, Vayne.
Vayne. Vanane.
You have to understand, I did not set out to be this. And she holds out her arms, where you can see a number of scars on her arms.
Was this part of the conclave? What happened to you?
Yes.
They did splinter
I was
off the
swayed.
crystalline circle?
Yes, they have. their own cave system, which I never quite figured out how they got there or how they navigated around, but they have their own system on the Crystalline Isle. And that is where I learnt this. Blood magic. It's not something I'm necessarily proud of, but it is part of me now.
Can I ask you a question based on you mentioned some caves and you learned some voodoo, hoodoo stuff in there. My question is, was there... I imagine for a type of magic that you use, you would need a lot of sacrifices, maybe, bodies of creatures that had been used in the practice of all of this. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever see a gentleman that was, like me? And then he's going to point at Cavan, but also like him, like a part skin, part me kind of guy that would, I don't know, preside and do rituals in the room where you would maybe dispose of bodies, a cavern, for example? Creature called Jane?
Jane was, Vane's niece. She's the reason I left. I saw what he did to her.
Okay, above table,
But
trying...
Yep.
We saw Jane
Yeah.
in the cage, and it was Klein.
That was in the... Klein was in the hood doing the fucking weird magic.
To Jane. And we already knew that there was the Jane, and Vane was Jane's uncle. Just so that we all understand that one. So, may I know, you learned this dark magic, blood magic from VS? Yes?
Yes. He was my tutor, my mentor for a long time, and I have done things during that time that I will spend a lifetime paying for. Aegeus, I think you said your name was. You ask me, did I harm people? Absolutely. Did I care at the time? Absolutely not. I was so swayed by this magic, this power.
We established while I was in that VS is the guy with the hooked nose.
We did, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I left this village, and it took me on a trail all the way to Thalessa, and I was following a hooded and shadowy individual out of this village. I believed it was you. Could I have been following VS? I find that hard to believe because of the contraptions they made under the temple would have taken them far longer than a few days.
No, Joel, it was me you followed.
Well, at least I was right on one thing.
But
Can I ask you a
at the time,
question, Manora? You
Yes.
you mentioned that you spent a lot of time with this VS. You were a confidant, maybe an apprentice, one might say. Did they ever mention? So first of all, I assume you would have information about where they could be found, possibly how their fortress could be penetrated.
I've given you this information. I said they have a cave system on the Crystalline Isle, but I never figured out how we got in there or out of there.
So you would just appear in there. They would just like.
He always
have you heard
cast the spells to get us in there. I never learned the symbols or the spells.
Okay. But you know about his personality. You know some stuff. So possibly, if there was a weakness that was needed to be exploited, you might know of something. Let me ask you this. Did he ever mention a gentleman by the name of Klein, Maximilian Klein, possibly a former form of himself, or a compatriot of his?
You were speaking earlier of this hooded, half-human, half-bone individual. Now, I heard him mention
ugly
a
motherfucker.
Klein. I heard him mention a Klein and some sort of partnership. Well, it wasn't even a partnership. It was a, what did he call it? A triumvirate.
Have we heard that term before?
Not that I need to give everybody a lesson in English here, but a triumvirate is 3 individuals, or a combination of 3 powers coming together, if you like.
It sounded like it was that, but I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Did you say Klein's first name is Maximilian?
Yes.
Try that again, Danny.
As in M. As in he could be M, not...
Well, I mean, it's a good point, Lex. It's one I guess hadn't considered, because you guys have been so dead set on M being Mayanora. So what? So you changed. So explain this to me. Why did you have a change of heart? Why did you have a change of heart and cause what you did at Mors Tacy? And why are there portals following you? Give me those 3 in that order.
Aren't following me.
You are following them,
Yes.
as are we.
Trying to understand what he is doing. And to answer your question, why did I have a change of heart when you see your best friend changed into a creature beyond all recognition? That tends to sway your thinking about whether what you're doing is right.
Does this sound familiar
familiar.
to
No.
Jewel?
I bet he... Mate?
Does it sound familiar to Jewel?
I'm
has a similar experience of a friend disappearing, but not changing as such. Like
I
that.
didn't think so.
This is.
Can Jewel get a read actually on all 3 of you of the room, but that includes you guys? Are you believing her?
From Edgius' standpoint, he was chilling out until she just said that she had a change of heart when she saw her best friend get turned into a creature. Edgius's change of stance now is pure anger. Baffled by the fact that she would hurt, murder, and do awful things to other people, but suddenly when it's close to her, that's now suddenly a problem? Despicable, vile behavior.
Lex?
And so Edgius is
Claim
pissed.
to be a good person. I'm not a beacon of purity and virtue, but she was my friend.
I'm just trying to get like an wordless, like, how does Jewel read everyone else?
Alex's face is...
Try it again.
Fuck a
Keep
duck.
going down.
Refresh job?
I've
You might
refreshed
need
about
to reset
85
the router,
times.
mate.
Ah, shit.
You might need to give the router a kick.
Yeah, you might need to.
Well, he's doing that,
What's on Kevin?
Kevin kind of was outside of this whole story, so he's actually looking for clues from the rest of you, and he seems to think, especially from Jewel and from Jewel's family, and he's actually sidled up to Jewel's mother and just sat next to Jules' mother and just kind of makes eye contact with her. And it's actually not really distrusting Mayanara because it doesn't feel like Jewel is. And he's just kind of going with the deeper knowledge that the rest of the group has, looking for clues, but there's no clue right now that anything has gone astray right now. So he's just kind of at the ready, but nothing is ringing red alarms for him.
So I think that Jules going to read the room of this is all falling into place with a lot of information, filling in a lot of gaps for Jewel and certainly Lex as in from the start. So she's going to be more relaxed, and so with a round of questioning where Mayanora has given testimony that would put her in a lot of trouble with the authorities, is going to say, it seems we have been following the wrong person for quite a while, but in doing so we have found a lot of information, and as long as you continue to be trustworthy, I am willing to give more information back and forth, and perhaps we can work together.
At this point, Edgius is going to stand up and turn and face Jewel and get right up in Jewel's face and be like, "We can't trust her, Jewel. You heard what she said. She killed hundreds. Who knows how many people she killed? She's vile.
Edgius, you are going to feel a very strong hand on your shoulder which just pushes you back down into the seat. And you would turn and see Paige, Jewel's father, looking you dead in the eye. Mind how you speak to my daughter.
I'm gonna
in this
grab
household.
his hand. As he's saying this, I'm gonna grab his hand and peel it off my shoulder and stand up to him and be like,
"Make me a strength check, please." Then.
Beautiful. Fuck it. That is a strength or athletics.
Strength, just straight strength, please.
Cool. That is a 16.
16. There is this even contest between the two of you then, where his hand is just placed there and gripping you as you try and twist it, and you can feel the strength in his hand. This is the strength of a smith's hands.
Both.
He's looking at you, and as you try and peel it off, you will show respect in this household to my family.
A hand on each wrist, on Edgius's wrist and on Paige's, from Joel. We do not need to fight here. Edgius, I understand. Please. I will explain. We are in my house now. In my parents' house. Please.
Edgius is going to stand up, throw both the hands off of him, and go, "You won't think I wouldn't have noticed that this person that she claims to be friends with, Vane Shadows Thorn, I did notice that his middle name relates a lot to this family's last name." Edgius is going to push the chair that he was sat in to one side, walk to the door, open the door, slam it open, and walk outside.
Joel will turn to her dad. Perhaps we could all have a drink of something stronger. I think we all need it.
Cavan sees Edgius storm outside and says, "Let me go. I'll go settle him down." And he goes.
Thank you, Cavan.
And walks outside as well.
Dream is going to give you a smile, Cavan. A smile that is beyond motherly. A smile that you, in your youth, did not experience, and it's almost like she understands part of your history, at least.
Can I roll just to see what my comfort level is with that smile? Do I embrace it? Does it make me uncomfortable?
That's your character. You can decide how comfortable you are with that smile.
It's foreign to me, but I do feel like there's an element of warmth and trust in there. I don't feel a threat at all. So, but it is foreign. So it kind of hits my numbness, my numb emotions, and to some degree bounces off a little bit. But it's certainly not threatening.
Very good.
Jewel will also
You
say,
can wander on after Edgius then, Jewel.
if her dad goes and starts to go and pour something, she would follow and go, "Forgive him, he's hot-headed and he means well."
We will
Outside,
be forgiven if he shows the necessary respect in this household. We have all been hot-headed in our youth. I get you have all been on a journey to get here, but this is our house. This is your mother's house, and your mama will be shown the proper respect.
I could not agree more. It is so good to hear your voice again. And she'll put
And
a
at
hand
this
on
point,
his...
he will give you a hug, like, I have missed you, little one.
I have missed you all. Truly. There is much to talk about.
Maynor is going to look to Lex as you have this moment with your dad. Sorry to interrupt you there. We need to address this whole thing about Morse Tacey. How apparently I did away with somebody's husband. If you are on about that vile, creepy, slimy man that I was told to be the assistant for, then I did nothing of the sort. It was his wife that did him in, daring to look at another woman.
Actually, that story checks out because she was a piece of work, if I was to be polite.
They are all disgusting. Even for me.
Yeah, well, one of them is dead now. We see to that.
I close distance on Edgius, and I see Mace also talking to the guards. And
I'll just talk that scene through. So as you look to see Mace with the guards, they're all having quite a jovial chat. And you can see Mace seems very calm, very at ease with them. And then actually wanders off around with them.
Okay. Edge, what was that, man? What like I can't get a read on this.
Edgius is just going to be staring out into the dark forest that surrounds this little village. As he just says to Cavan, I should have killed him. I should have fucking killed him.
Wait, who? Like, what are you talking about?
Instead, I'm fucking here. This poor person inside who clearly has been manipulated, but clearly has no heart, has hurt so many people. So many, Cavan. Just in the time that you and I have known each other, and we've been with these two, joining them in the Planar Detective Agency, Edgius does in air quotes. The pain that has been caused, the damage, the ripples of my decision, Cavan. The ripples. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I had just killed Klein all those years ago, instead of trying to best him, prove that somehow, I'm this great detective and that, I make a show of it. If I had just done the right thing, everything could have been avoided. But here we are, a family plagued with a problem now because of something that I fucked up, a town with a portal in it because I didn't stop someone. I understand he's only one of three, but it falls on me, Cavan. I'm fucking fed up of this decision haunting me. I should have died that day too. I should have taken him and I should have died.
Whoa. Look, man, I don't know what happened on that day, but I do know that when I look at my past decisions, I made the best decision I could make in that moment. And I hold Edgius, and I kind of turn him around to look at me as opposed to out in the distance, and I say, My guess is you made the best decision you thought you could make in that moment. You did not have this perspective all that time ago. You did not have all this information, all that knowledge that time ago. Stop fucking beating yourself up and let's get to figuring out how to fix this so that we don't have any regrets and we can get out the other side of this. You know who the enemy is now.
Go on, Lex.
No, go on, you finish.
Yeah. You know more information now than you've ever known up until this moment. Let's get our shit together. Let's be respectful of whatever the fuck's going on in there. I still don't know, like, what the relationship is with Jules' parents and fucking Mayanora. I don't know how Mayanora ended up in Jules' fucking house. But let's just come out of that with a game plan. It seems like Jewel has more information now. Our objective, dude, is to erase the ills of the past and to fucking fix this shit. That's it. Put that shit behind you and look forward.
Edgius slowly places a boned hand on Cavan's chest and taps twice. Turns from Cavan and looks back out to the houses and goes, I agree, wholeheartedly. And I'll come in a minute, once I've just had some time. But that doesn't mean that the guilt of the past doesn't shackle me to the decisions that I make in my future. I'll be in a minute, Cavan. Go help them.
As Edgius says this, Cavan says, I'll come in with you, and pulls out of his pouch, he pulls out some tobacco and some papers and starts rolling a cigarette, and rolls it and lights it, takes a puff of it and hands it to Cavan, hands it to Edgius.
Takes a long drag and looks at Cavan and goes, yeah, just coming out of all the holes. Takes a long drag,
Sorry.
looks at Cavan and goes, we've got to make it right. We've got to make it right.
No doubt. We will make this right. We've got you and me. Dude, we still got to get fucking Callum. Like, we got some work to do here. So let's get our shit right. Let's wait for Jewel and Lex to gather up all their information that they're going to get. Let's close up this part of the fucking situation and move on to the next.
You know,
you gonna smoke that whole thing? Can I have a drag?
Oh shit! Sorry.
Jesus,
You know,
I rolled for you now, and like that's it. You just smoke it all down. And I'm holding a little butt basically that literally I look at it and I'm just like I fucking throw it to the ground and I'm like always.
Edgius chuckles, puts an arm around round Cavan, and goes, you know, when we met, I felt something. And I'm not going to say it was godly, so don't get me like that, because I know you were thinking it. But I felt something. I appreciate you, man. Okay, let's go back in.
All right, I'm ready to. Start making our way. Knock on the door, but then just open it slightly. Just as a respectful knock, and open it slightly just to get a cue from those inside whether we can enter again.
And Dream will look to you both. Come on in. Are you both quite settled now?
Edgius will meekishly walk towards the kitchen where Jules and her father are, and will count that there's actually 2 cups missing on the line that they've put out of the drinks. And Edgius is going to just start searching the cupboards, pull out 2 extra cups, slide them next to them, and just say, my apologies for earlier. If I can help in any way, let me know.
And as you sort of turn to go sit, Paige will just reach that hand out again. I understand. There are horrors in your past, both. Well, by the sound of that conversation outside, it's thin walls, you know. Both distant and recent. But, You look after my little Jewel here. You have looked after her. You are in my debt, or I am in your debt. This is the way it's said, yes?
I hope it's the second one. I appreciate you very much,
This
sir.
is what I mean, yes. I am very thankful.
Thank you for letting us be in your home. I appreciate you not judging me based on your initial impression of me, sir.
Hey, emotions are high this evening. It is been this way in the village for a while. We are somewhat used to it. So please sit, enjoy a drink. Let us discuss more of what has gone on, what is to happen. Bronze, it is time you went to bed, little one.
As
Daddy, I don't want to go to bed. No, I want to listen. Please. Bed now, little one. Off you go.
As Paige had said, emotions are running high. Edgius and Paige would have seen that Jewel would have pulled away from the hug with her dad, and there would have been... She would have been smiling, but there were still tears in her eyes. You would possibly get to realise or remember that she's only like early 20s and she has been on one hell of a ride. She's really glad to be home. So she pulls herself together, grabs a glass and walks back into the other room, goes over to her mum, and it is so good to see you. This has been so weird.
That it has, dear, that it has.
I cannot believe that I left following Mayanora. And she nods over to her. I thought we were...
Oh, you did.
I thought we were following what was happening here.
You two do have mirrored histories somewhat. Each losing a friend, each choosing a different path. Katrana was a tragedy. Well, let's just say the path to the quarry is now well guarded.
It's good to hear.
How did you spell that name? Sorry, the name of Jules' friend.
Katrana, C-O-T-R-A-N-A.
Would you say, Jules, this is your best friend?
It was.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Now it's Lex, obviously.
It's actually Callum for all of us. We just don't. We've never.
We just don't want to tell anyone. It's like when if we get him back, we're all just gonna be like, "Oh, good to see you back," and just punch him on the shoulder. But we're actually really happy to see him.
As when Jewel walked away
carry on
to the other side of the room, and it's just Paige, Edgius, and I, and the last thing Paige said was, thanks for protecting my daughter. I say to Paige, I'm not sure how much you know about your daughter, but she's been pretty much protecting us for weeks, and not sure who told her knife play, but she can protect herself better than just about anyone I've ever seen. You should be real proud of her.
I was always proud of her in everything she did. It's nice to know my skills have paid off, though.
I will say via message in Jules' head, we probably shouldn't tell them you've died, right?
Eventually, but not right now.
Okay.
It is enough.
And you'll notice that Lex is awkward in this situation, not just because his internet froze, he ain't got a fucking clue what's going on, but also because he's in a family environment and he hasn't been in a family environment for fuck knows 30 years nearly, right? And he's used to transactional robotic interactions. It's weird for him to be a part of.
Anxiety attack, full on.
Yeah, I mean, he's used to he has his moments with his friends and he has that sort of bond, but seeing a parent-child relationship is making him feel the feels.
Also, presumably with the calculation of Maynor is possibly not our enemy, is potentially going to be disrupting his balanced train of thought.
Yeah, because basically everything he thought was correct is now up in the air. It logically makes sense why he was wrong, but he still has to accept the fact. Also, there's a fucking portal that we're not addressing that he's been told to keep stum about, so he's just like...
So at this point, Dream is going to turn to you all and sort of smiles at you all with that motherly smile. I get the impression from a lot of you that you're not used to this sort of dynamic. Sit. I have a story that I need to tell all of you around why Maynora came here as well. Now, I will make this quite clear. And I think we are there, but while she is under our roof, she is under our protection. If any of you seek to harm her, you will be thrown out of this house, and I will leave you to the shadows. You are
I think
all
we're
still
all on
strangers
the
to me.
enemy of my enemy is my friend type trajectory now.
I hope so. But listen, you are all strangers to me, apart from my daughter.
That's fair.
Maynora is not. I have known this girl since she was a little one.
Pause. Before, as we all sit at the table, Aegeus, who is feeling bad but still not trusting of Maynora, is going to cast Zone of Truth under the table.
Oh.
Who's under the table?
Table is a person, and it's under them at which he is casting it. So it's a 15-foot sphere around us, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Do believe
And the
everyone
creature
knows, though.
It doesn't know. No, it doesn't say anywhere in the spell that anyone knows that they're in the zone of truth. It says
But
a creature can
save
avoid.
against it.
Yes, they can make a save against it, and they can also avoid telling the whole truth. They can't.
Yeah.
They just can't not tell the truth.
Cool. So what's the save score, please?
It is a it's charisma saving throw, and it is a
Mayanora's
15.
Mayanora's making that save for sure.
Right, so we've all got to on that one, I'm guessing.
I'm not going to bother. I'm happy to be in a zone of truth. That's how I live my life.
Yeah. Eddie, you know
I'm-
who's saved
Yeah,
and who fails.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So as Danny was saying that, I rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So you would know that Maynora has saved.
Mm-hmm.
As for the rest of the family, including Bronze, who is not far away, even
Definitely
though
listening from the stairs.
yeah, they all fail. I'll be quite clear with that. They've all failed. They are subject to the spell.
Do we need to, or are we all...
I think it's whether you choose to or not. Whether you choose to contest.
Oh. Suppose we... That's the weird thing about it, is do we not need to just roll to know whether we do? Because if we don't... Otherwise we'd know something's getting cast?
I don't think Jewel would know either way, would she?
No, so
Zone
the
of Truth
option is you can either fail,
is-
you can either automatically fail it because you don't know and you're happy for Jewel to be deceived, or you can fucking roll for it and see whether Jewel's mentally trying to resist it, I guess would be the vibe.
Yeah.
So Zone of Truth does require a verbal component as well. So I would say with your passive perception, you would absolutely notice that Aegeus has cast something, even though it was under the table. You've heard a word, and that sounds vaguely magical.
knowing that it was something vaguely magical, she will try to save against it. And that's a 17. So I think that
Passes.
that passes. Yeah.
Passes. Yeah. Tom, are you saving against it, or are you gonna just gonna let it be?
I'm gonna let it be.
Very good. Cool. So anybody that's failed is
Not happening
compelled
with you
to
being
not
sus, Joel, is
lie.
it? Not fun.
No, but I'm trying to play it the way that I was like, well, yeah, this works because she
don't
doesn't
like
know.
magic.
But also, you may want to lie to Nora about something because you don't trust her.
Very, very true. But
You
going
benefit
back to what Jules' mum said, there's a very confused look on her face when she's talking about the fact that she's under our protection. Visibly, it's almost one of those double takes of like, what? In terms of, what do you mean under our protection? It's just like they're in our house. Lex, you'd probably know Jewel long enough to know she's thinking, well, I don't get how you're protecting her.
Yeah, because she's clearly more powerful than everyone in the village, sort of thing.
Well, no, exactly. You know, and again, from what Jewel has told the rest of the party, for want of a better word, Jewel's mum is a librarian.
Yeah.
And I do not. Yeah, I have been taught and brought up that I do not like magic. I do have a magical item, and that's it. So
I'm assuming Jules' mum and dad, Mr. and Mrs. of Shadow, that you've come to the conclusion that Leonora deserves your protection, albeit I'm sure she can protect you better than you can protect her, is because you've gone down the same route as us. As she's defected from the enemy, she's done unforgivable things, but now, second chance and all of that, she's more beneficial on our side than against us. Is that a fair conclusion, or are you just holding on to sentimental ties because you knew her when she was in diapers?
Good question.
Zone of truth. So obviously, Lex don't sugarcoat shit.
And Dream will sort of think on this in a minute, and well, I suppose it's both.
So I suppose a
known her
logical
since
reason
she was a
keep her on side because
small
she's a
girl.
powerful blood mage, but there's also sentimental reasons there too.
Well, she also has in-depth knowledge around whatever this shadow curse thing or whatever it is that's on the village. So we are also hoping that she can help with that.
I have so many questions. I'm sorry. How did I not know?
Dream's looking a bit confused now as well, and sort of very clever. Whichever one of that you did that. Well done.
She means the zone of truth you cast.
Oh, I thought someone passed wind. My apologies.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. Did Edgius intentionally fail it or not?
Oh, that's a good point. I'm in my own zone of truth.
You are, so you can't lie if you don't want to.
No, Edgius is telling the
God.
truth. Edgius has failed his own. Edgius has failed his own
There you go.
check. He's definitely telling the truth.
I'm sorry. You knew Mayanora, but I never knew of her. I realise that you have had your own relationships. Look, I'm not trying to pry, but
You were very young, my dear. Very young.
Okay.
Before she left for her training. The elven part of her heritage has kept her, would we say, well preserved, my dear? And Mayanora is just going to look and say, I suppose that's the most flattering way of saying it. Yes, I have kept my...
Does that mean you're really old?
No, it means I'm in my 50s.
Damn! And your skin looks that
your
good?
skin is like porcelain.
My skin doesn't even look that good. Dear
Oh,
God.
God.
You don't
I mean, I have
skin,
the
my dear.
advantage of, glistening scales for my youthful appearance, but
God's
They are
keeping
quite
him young,
attractive as
and
well.
Gonna gesture towards Cavan.
Which god? Didn't realise you don't look the clerical or sort.
He was just saying stuff. Paragon, but never mind. It's no thing.
I suppose that explains the Warforged, I think it's called. Yes, the metallic individual.
Mayon,
Oh,
why were you here just over a year ago? And if I followed you, why were you here? I presume you were here because it's... Well, was it that you were following the fact that something had started in the village, or did you escape because it started in the village?
You
I'm
started
trying
it
to
in the
es-
village,
Came
didn't you?
home. I came home.
You came
This
from
village is my home.
you came from Dryad's Gate and you came here, correct?
I had been through many places on my journey away from him.
So it started because you came home. I'm not accusing. I am trying to follow the cause and effect of all of this.
I ran because he found me here. Well, his lackeys found me here, but they also found something else, which I didn't realise was here at the time.
Which
You've
was
sensed it. And looks
Oh.
towards
Portal.
Lex,
oh,
the portal. And they
Right.
saw a dual opportunity, so while they were distracted, and I think that's had a detrimental effect on you, and I'm very, very sorry for this. I'm sorry that I brought this back to your door. But while they were distracted, I left and went the only place I thought I could find any refuge, and that was with, well, another member of the Crystalline Circle, but somebody who was investigating this phenomenon. She wouldn't let me in on her secrets, but she would let me man the reception desk.
wait.
So that's where I worked for a year.
Artemisia also knew dark and blood magic?
No, she is of the Crystalline
Shadows.
Circle. She was a mage. She's
She
not
hired
the
us to
conclave
investigate
who
the shadows,
deals
didn't
in-
she?
Yes. No,
was
she did.
investigating the planes, and her machine was malfunctioning, I think was the message I had to send out.
Yes, but you went to go and work with her. I thought that if she was working with the Crystalline Circle, you had been... forgive me, maybe I've got this wrong. You were outlawed as one of... Am I wrong?
She saw something in me, at least. Chance of redemption. Long gone now.
Am I safe to assume that the portal you know is here? And from what you found, is it safer for me to try and close it in the daytime when I can't draw power from, I suppose, the surrounding shadows at nighttime?
You know how to close portals?
I say we like I have any idea. Lex closed one just outside of More Stacy. It was
That's
to...
kind of why I'm here.
Yes. We also want to close them because we believe they are being corrupted by, yes, whoever we are following. Who are we
Technically,
following?
Jewel. Jewel. Edgy is just like truth spilling at this point. Technically, Jewel. Actually, it was Lex, myself, and Callum that did it because we are all users of various types of arcana. And it was actually the three combined types of arcana that I believe was the way that we shut the portal in the end. I
Yes.
believe even you lent something towards it as well, Jewel. But it does seem that now that Callum is gone, we are down a caster, and Edgius is going to look down at Mayanora.
There's no way a level 20 Mayanora is coming with us.
Do you want to join the
Said she was
team?
level 20.
We've got gift baskets for new entrants.
You get a badge.
Look,
You get a
look,
badge
I
and you
can
get an
see-
emblem, and you can sew it on your little dress.
I can see all of the looks that you're all giving me, Jewel, Lex. You're thinking, not another one. But all I'm saying is, we can't let her go. Now that we know that there's, look, she's given us some portion of the truth, and now we believe this portion of the truth, but up until this point, we had adverse information. Currently, we've got a 50-50 split on whether this is honest or not. So this is what I'll say. You've got to come with us. Whether you would like to or not, we can't leave you here for fear that you may spread information about us trying to track down your bosses or previous bosses. So actually, whether you fucking want to or not, Mayanora, you're actually coming with us now. So
Yeah, she
I'm
could also
sorry,
be good
Jewel.
bait. She could be bait.
Exactly. And also she has insider information. Am I the only one thinking this?
I'm sorry.
It seems like I'm the only one saying it.
Edgius, I'm sorry, but from the sounds of this, who we are trying to track down is intentionally trying to follow Mayanora. Forgive me, Mayon. I don't want you anywhere near us.
Nor
For
do I
an
particularly
extended
want to put you
period
in a
of time.
position where my presence would put you at risk.
Yes, so Edgius, I get what you're saying, but I mean, target back. No, I'm sorry, but we are going to work better if we go our separate ways.
I don't know.
maybe when
They
I'm
say
out
keep your
there.
enemies close. They say keep your enemies close.
I know, Edgius, and sort of, she's like, sort of taps you on the shoulder like in a joke.
I'm guessing that I probably shouldn't even ask this question, but I've been thinking about this for a couple days now. Remember, Jewel, when we spoke to the shopkeeper about that oneromancy, and they told us about the power of how that could bring us all together in dreams and everything. And how long does it take to learn the spell, whether it's oneromancy or helping to close a portal or that type of thing? I mean, I'm not saying I could do it, but like, I'm just asking, like, how long would it take for a layman, someone that doesn't have any experience with that, to learn?
I mean, my understanding is that usually he has to have some form of magical talents. I mean, myself, I learned very quickly how to read the spells. Well, and she looks at the books and some of the other things in the manuscripts here. And I could manifest that power. So it depends on your personal proclivity, I guess, but some
When Mayon looks
naturally-
around at the books, she interjects. Maman, do you know magic from these books?
I know
And there is
simple
quite
spells,
a-
my dear.
You use and understand magic.
I could use magic. I choose not to. Mainly because I'm not so trustworthy of it. It's too easy.
I mean, that is along the lines of what you taught me, but
You're right, it's exactly what I taught you.
no, you said it was untrustworthy.
It is untrustworthy. It's too easy. You'd see Mayanora sat here. She is a victim of the corruption of power.
I mean, this
It
has
is
not
too
happened to
I would like to
Lex.
stand as a vestibule as the exact opposite.
Yes.
I have not been seduced by power. I use it for the good of the great equation.
Edgius
I haven't
in
used
truth
it to,
just goes,
I haven't gone
Lex
off for
hasn't
some
been
evil
seduced by
villain.
much.
Yeah, touche.
What's everybody's passive? In fact, I think passive perception.
Passive perception 23.
Yeah, give me a passive perception scores.
23.
23 for Jewel.
14.
14.
14.
Oh, hey-o!
Lex.
My passive perception is shit at 11.
Okay. Jewel, you're the only person that hears Mayanora go, well, there's a first time for everything. But Dream is going to continue. She's going to say, power's corrupting, and forgive me, Lex, I believe you were introduced as, your power is given to you, is it not?
Yeah. I was chosen it, if that's what you mean.
It is limited, is it not?
Only by my own potential. No. Yeah,
And therefore,
I'm yet to unlock its full potential. Some would say. Yeah.
so you are bound within some constraints.
Bound by.
There are those who
Yeah.
are not bound by such constraints.
Jewel looks at Maynora
Like the
and says,
superhero. I'll point to Maynora.
well, I was going to say, Jewel would also look to Maynora. So, all magic that is learned does this?
Yes, all
Corrupt,
wizards
you
are
mean?
evil.
Yes, does all of it corrupt?
No, not at all. But there is whole schools of magic that are not widely practiced, have not been practiced for many a generation. And due to the weakening of rifts, due to the ley lines surging, those magics became all too accessible once again. Such as this. And she's just going to look down at the litany of scars down her arm. Now, my friends, we are an hour and 45 minutes in, and I know we want to continue this, but I'm also conscious that everybody probably needs a little bit of a breather and a break as well. So we are going to put a pin in that one just there, just for a little while, and we are going to have sort of a 5 or 10 minute break just for everybody to process their thoughts and think about what's been said, and then we will continue this conversation. Just before we go to break, in fact, no, do you know what? I'll do that at the end of the session, so let's not worry about that just now. Let's all go for a break, and then we can come back and get straight into this. So we will see you all in a few minutes. Thanks for sticking around.
Hi-oh.
Hey-yo.
Hello.
Hey,
So,
Why am I so zoomed in?
I don't know,
Yeah.
mate. Why are you so zoomed in? That does seem a little bit like somebody's gone.
Joel, we go
Very.
from Danny round. We get further away from the camera.
I've got a big fucking head, but this is taking the piss.
That's not going to be comfortable for the night. Very good. Go for it. Sorry, Dave. You're about to
Yeah,
say
no,
something.
sorry, jumping to right back in it. DM,
Yeah, let's go for it.
Jewel is much more grown up now that she has travelled and done the bits that she does. Can she now look around, and again, probably considering the fact that the villages also have been under perpetual siege for a year, can she now have a look at her dad and possibly a few of the tools that are around, a few more bits and bobs? Does she get an understanding that her dad started making weapons? I say this because she had the understanding that he only ever made decorative and useful tools and sconces and bits for people's houses, and not weapons.
Make me an investigation check, please.
19.
With a 19 now having been more travelled, more worldly aware, you spot tools that are common smithing tools, but also there's a few things that now stick out in terms of things that are used for more weapon smithing. Some of these look a little bit dusty, like they've not been used in a long time. Others look like they have been used. But yes, there is tools of the trade to craft weapons.
And are Jules' mum or dad packing?
Ooh.
I wonder what he was asking him. I was like, what are you asking about his cock for, you weirdo?
Because you've got an insane passive perception, you would see now, you notice it. And it's only now you're more experienced in combat and spotting these things and looking for these things that, yes, you notice a curved dagger hidden sort of at the base of your father's spine, just where he sits and then moves forward and sort of turns.
Cool. All right. Sweet.
As Jules' mom heads into the kitchen with a couple empty glasses, I grab a couple as well, and I say I'll just help, and I'll follow her into the kitchen, and I put the glasses down on. Oh no, it's fine. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I don't know a lot of the backstory of what's been going on or anything, and I don't know. I just are you okay?
Am I okay? Well,
yeah. This whole thing
yes,
has been crazy. I mean, there's I don't know the details of how many people have gone missing and in your village, and Jules' friends, and certainly probably friends of the family, and you've been right in the eye of the storm. And I put my hand lightly on her forearm, and I say, if I'm out of place, please tell me. I'm here because I like and I love Jewel, and I want to protect Jewel, but you're part of Jewel's family, and I just want to make sure that everything that's spoken out there is one thing, but are you okay?
I don't know who raised you, my dear, but they certainly raised you right. We are doing okay, yes. The village is suffering, but so far our family remains intact. It's not the same for others. Or at least me, as the lawkeeper, history maintainer, whatever you want to call it, of the village, it takes a toll having to record all of this, try and understand it, try and answer questions, but well, I'm hoping now that Jules' home and the rest of you are here that you can start to answer some of those questions for me. But yes, I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Are you okay? You said you didn't know the background of what's going on. Is there some frustration there?
Yeah, I'm along for the ride, I guess, and it's not my ride, and I'm hoping that I can pick up my ride again. Nah, no, it's not. But it's okay. It's okay because
ride then.
I don't know. I've been lost for a while, and when you said whoever raised me, yeah, I didn't have that. I didn't have what Jewel has and what you have, and this is all very different for me, and I'm trying to find something, and I guess maybe that's my ride, and it this probably doesn't make sense to you or anything, but
I understand it. I understand. I see it. I get it. I think you're being a little bit naive, though, that you haven't found something. I saw how you spoke to your friends. I saw how you deal with the others, how you speak about my daughter.
I'm trying to. This connection I made kind of when I was a kid. I'm trying to figure that out, and I get, yeah, it's all confusing and everything, but I don't know. This probably isn't the time. I'm not sure when there would be a time, but anyway,
Then now is the time.
So there was this god, and I know this sounds weird, but there was this god that spoke to me.
There's a few of them,
Paragon.
I'm told.
Yeah, and anyway, I've been really angry my whole life, and haven't been able to control my emotions, and I say stupid things, and I probably frustrate. I know I've frustrated Jewel plenty in the past, and but I'm trying to get grips with it, and I'm trying to figure out this whole like balance thing. This way to keep keep your passion and keep your emotion in life, but not let it take you over, not let it sometimes hurt you or hurt others around you. And so I think that's my ride, and I'm not sure how I get back on it or where it takes me, but yeah.
I hear you. I see you. That rage, that anger, sure has its place, especially doing what you all did out there, and I imagine have been doing. That balance is gonna come from finding something to hold on to, I think, for you. If I may say so, of course. You can obviously just ignore me. What do I know? Just a lowly lawkeeper from a small tabaxi village. But
No,
I see that
that
eagerness in
makes.
you. I see that yearning for family, and I understand it.
That's exactly it. That you nailed it. That's and in Jewel, and you met Lex and you met Aegeus. Family's a big word, but they're my. I don't even know what family is. Yeah, are they? Yeah, I guess so.
Family is. There are different types of family. There is obviously blood and love more than anything, though. Caring for one another. Jewel, Paige, Bronze are my family by both blood and love. Mayanora is family to me through love and care. Many in this village are family to me through that same feeling of love. You said balance. Maybe balance for you is finding those connections and remembering those connections.
Yeah, maybe. I kind of see where I can see you and Jewel, I can see how Jewel thinks, and some of the words that come out of Jewel's mouth almost feels like it's the same voice, and you've raised her well.
She is mostly her father's daughter, but I'm glad some pearls of wisdom have found their way.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't want to hold you up or anything. I just wanted to make sure
You're not holding me up at all, Calvin. No. You are welcome here whenever you need.
I appreciate that.
You're most welcome. Come on, let's go see what they're up to.
Yeah.
And sort of wanders back in and can see sort of the conversation has sidled somewhat as you're all just trying to process. Mayanora herself is sat there with a cup, almost nervously just sipping, waiting for whatever is going to happen next.
If I may, try not to use it too much, but with my passive perception, I'd like to know that I heard a bit of that conversation. So when
you probably heard the whole fucking thing. Like, the house is
just...
Yes, they were speaking softly, but you heard enough. You heard enough to get the gist.
When her mum walks back in, she goes, "When did you become the lawkeeper, Maman?"
Jewel, I was always the lawkeeper.
But you were just a
You
librarian.
used to sit and listen to our stories. Yes, a librarian.
Yes.
I was always the lawkeeper. You knew this, my dear.
I have learnt a lot tonight. I believe. I think I must have had my head in the clouds.
Is she within my circle of truth?
Yep.
It is something that comes to mind is one of the things I wanted to come back and check that you were all okay, but on our travels, it turned out we may need to ask you a couple of questions. You may have the answers. By the sounds of it, lawkeeper and historian of the village, I hope you can find them. What questions? I am not entirely sure of those, what we need to ask. But now I know that you have a connection to Mayon. I understand that we may all find information that will send us on the right track.
Whatever information I can give you, Jewel, Lex, Gavin, Edgius, your friend outside, I'll give you.
I hope to. Can I come back to Mayon? You asked about us closing a portal as
I did,
yes. They have all stated we collectively have closed a portal just outside of Mor Stacy. It was connected to the Feywilds. It was corrupted, or had been corrupted, and due to its corruption we were not able to return it to its state but close it. This was due to the corruption being too far. I am sorry, Lex, I am butchering this. I do not understand it enough. But it was better for it to be closed than remained as it was. Are we concerned that they may have corrupted one in the village? And she looks to the wider room. Has this portal been what is the word, dormant until then? I do not recall anything bad happening while we were growing up.
Well, and this dream sort of chimes up again. I was unaware of anything in the well. It was a well to most of us.
So
the children didn't even play in it. It was just a place to get water, and then shadows started emerging, and all this nonsense, this curse, whatever it is, started,
And Mayon, this was around the time you returned, so we believe that this is not necessarily connected to this, or did they corrupt the portal knowing you were here?
I don't know what you mean by corruption of a portal. I don't know what that experience is like. I've not experienced it, but what you see is what he does.
Jewel looks at Lex, going outside of my area.
Would Lex know that when he sensed it, it has been and always will, or always has been, a Shadowfell portal, rather than
Make me a
it was something
spellcasting
else?
ability check again.
Oh,
please,
mate!
just to go
If it
back
was
to
a
that.
that would be hilarious if it was a portal to the water plane, and that's why the well worked.
12.
12. Whilst you aren't sure if it was always a Shadowfell portal or a portal to the plane of shadows, what you are confident in is that those effects you experience getting closer to the Mor Stacy portal aren't happening here. Those strange whispers of sorts. What we see here is very much just pure shadow and that feel to it. So you kind of get the impression that it's not corrupted. Whether it was always meant to go to the Shadowfell, you can't be 100% sure, but corruption doesn't seem likely.
And so I'd also asked Maynora had that started around the time she came back.
Not long after I returned, yes, they were chasing me. And again, I apologise for this. I used their distraction as an opportunity to get out and hopefully lead them away.
I feel we have done the same as you on numerous occasions, so I can relate.
Two questions and then a point that I want to make, Jewel. Going back to a point you made earlier, and I think we need to have a open group discussion about this. But first of all, Maynora, the the portals. You know, again, you studied under these people. You know, you studied under Vane. You know, he was connected to this triumvirate or whatever you called it. This triangle, this you know, triad of people. What are they doing with these shadow portals? You know, you learned blood magic, but what were they trying to attempt with these blood portals? Did they ever mention anything about these portals and what the plan is with all those? And then you mentioned, just kind of intersecting with this, you mentioned that there was Vane, Max Klein, and then you said that there was a third. Can you give us the name of the third? And answer that question about the portals I just asked as well.
That was a lot to remember, but going back
I
to
can break
who
it
is
down
the
for you if
third,
need be.
I don't know who the third is. I was never privy to those meetings. Whilst I studied under him, I wasn't his favoured pupil. That was always Jane. And look what became of her. Sorry, what was the first question again, Edgies?
The question was, the portals, do you know anything? I mean, you just said that you're not the favorite student, and that
Yes.
would be a very apt reason to not know anything, but can you really think hard if there was any sort of knowledge as to why these portals are being used, if they ever mention shadows or do you know what, even, I don't know, say maybe a Lord of Shadows or a Shrouded Lord, or possibly even, maybe even a Lord of Winter.
Insight check
Something
while
like
he
that.
says that.
And
Okay,
also maybe a Lord of Winter or anything like that.
Make me an insight check. So she will turn and say, the Lord of Winter doesn't sound anything like they have to do with shadows. That sounds more Fey-esque if I had to go by anything.
I was just throwing things out there, you know, just, you know, ideas on a wall, you know, see if something sticks.
No, I get it. I don't
20
know what their plan was. Go.
Yeah, 22 on the when he said Shrouded Lord.
Don't see anything. Curiosity, maybe.
Cool.
Unexpected.
Yeah. But
She
not
sits there and sort of thinks, and I don't recall anything on why they needed the portals or what they were using them for, but I can tell you this, that when I met VS originally, his command of shadows was nothing like what I witnessed when I left. So whatever he is using them for, one thing is quite clear, he is gaining power as a result.
Okay, so
He's drawing power or becoming stronger.
let us pull together what we know. Artemisia had a contraption. I don't know what you would call it, Lex.
The orrery.
Yeah, it's a word I struggle to say, so I'll just let Matt say. I say apparatus because it's easier to say.
This was to understand, to learn from the planes, I believe.
That was my understanding as well, yes.
This VS had created some sort of anti-version of it that was interfering in the early hours of every morning. He had a contraption very similar under the temple. It looked almost identical, to my eyes anyway. Now, these were the planes, and we are talking about portals to different planes, one of which we have known is corrupted, and one we know, no. One we are unsure whether it is corrupted or not. But the planes and portals to those planes are connected in some way. Now, we believed
How big was Jewel, how big was the item that you were just talking about? This thing that we know that either VS or Klein had the opposite of. How big was it?
Oh, it was 20 or so feet wide. It was a full globe, circular,
Okay.
layered thing. It moved. It was quite an incredible contraption. And she shows you a little drawing that actually she did make of it.
She did indeed.
But yeah, so she
so it
drew
was a
basically
room.
drew Artenesia's, and then would have possibly just drawn a darker version, like a weird, like just a smaller
yeah,
version of it,
you-
just darker.
So you would
So-
see a sketch of a room with this contraption filling the room. It is massive,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's got these big arms with these globes and
portal
mechanisms that move
locator.
around and
Let's-
seem to spin.
Let's call it a geographical location system. Of portals. It sounds like that was them.
Honestly, I don't know. We did not have chance to ask Artemisia too much. The little she gave us, I think it was more of researching the other planes. Whether that was via portals, I'm sorry, Aegeus, but I mean, she died the night that we met her. We really did
Yeah.
not get chance to ask more. But it was being interfered by another one being used, we believe. She then pulls out another big parchment, and this is where she's drawn what she saw in a book from the Crystalline Circle. I found this in the Crystalline Circle, tried to draw it as best as I can. These are all the planes that we believe are out there. My only concern is whether the astral plane, which we unfortunately have some sort of connection to, is the bit in between, or whether there is something else that they are looking for. We have reason to believe, Lex, please help me on this one. They were looking for something in between the planes. Am I wrong?
Did they ever mention the multiverse to you at all? Or parallel universes? Traveling between universes?
No.
Can I throw a thought out there that I just can't get out of my head right now, guys, as we're all talking about planes and different things? Let me just throw a hypothesis out there to you. So you've got Klein and you've got Vanes. Let's say one of these two guys is, or both of them either are the Shrouded Lord or work with the Shrouded Lord, right? Let's say that the other person in the three, possibly, or possibly someone that is connected to all of this, is the Lord of Winter. Now,
Is the Lord of Winter?
hear me out. This is the guy that Lex and I met when Callum was taken. Lex, I'm not sure if you remember, but the Lord of Winter, the reason that he took Callum is because Callum had not followed through on a promise that he'd made. But also, Callum mentioned that his father, who could open rifts to other planes, could open portals to other planes, was part of that. So let's just say on a wild hunch that this guy who steals a plane opener, a door opener, connects with people who need doors open to, as we found out thanks to Lex's incredible intellect on portals, the Shadowfell. Let's say that they employ the Lord of Winter to help them open portals around the place that will allow the Shrouded Lord to gain enough of his presence within this material plane that he himself may be able to materialize. I would speculate our threat might not even be on this plane at this point.
I mean,
So you're thinking the Lord of Winter rents out the Horizon Walker guy?
I'm
to
sorry,
find more
guys,
portals.
but that Horizon Walker was set in ice, and Callum was also he was trying to release
Yeah.
that Horizon Walker is a so-called father. I'm sorry, you may
So
well
actually,
be right.
The
But-
Lord of Winter might actually be a target if they found
Yes.
out what he had in his possession, and he might not know the
Yes,
jewel he actually has in his crown.
So, in all seriousness, I really believe that the Lord of Winter simply wanted to continue to access this plane, from the Feywild, and Callum failed because we closed the portal instead of healing it.
Let me ask you this then. Let me throw a possible avenue of search. And I think there seems to be two in my head at the moment. The Crystalline Isles is one. But the other one that I have in my head is, if we use that map that you have there of all the portals, of all the planes, and we use knowledge, we try and gain information from people, and we try and find ourselves a Fey portal. Let's say we cross into the Feywild, and we get to the Lord of Winter. We get this Horizon Walker on our side. Now, at the moment, it takes 3 arcane users and even yourself, Jewel, possible non-arcane users to help us shut down these portals. Imagine if we could have one person that could shut down his portal straight away. It's almost the ultimate weapon in our arsenal of being able to shut out his presence. So possibly collecting this person and bringing them back with us while we, along the way, shut any portals that we encounter, as in the method that we have with multiple people at the moment, but then possibly find him, use him as our new method of shutting it down, almost like a Swiss Army knife of portal shutting down.
If he can't shut them, because from what I understand, he can only find them, he'd still be helpful because he can find them and I can close them.
I think that's a good idea.
I admit I do not understand anywhere near enough of it. Do we know that they are in the Feywild? I happen to believe you said that they may have gone to a sort of a demi-plane, similar to when we reached the flower. I don't know. Maybe there were portals. Maybe all of them were portals to the Feywild. If so, then we should have said to use one of them. But I don't know. I'm just saying we need to find out. We need to research. Whether they were actually in the Feywild or somewhere near the Feywild.
Jewel, now I know you're not a fan of this as well, but at the moment, based on what we have in this team, Lex and I are not enough to close this portal in your home village, let alone any others.
To be fair, we haven't tried. With it being a standard portal, I might be able to do it on my own. I don't know.
We need to try and close it. We need to find out what they are doing to it. We need to find out how they are using it. Is it also corrupt? And is it in the same way? Or have they used it in a different manner? But I am very curious to know whether it is due to them trying to convert it, corrupt it, or use it to draw power. Any of those would be my understanding.
Well, I guess the question comes down to it as well. So my thinking is this: if we can't close it with just one person, then Mayanora, you're going to have to help us, because you're the only other magic user I see in this vicinity. But with that also being said, you make a really good point, actually, Jewel, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. You just said we need to know what they're using it for, what it's leading to. What are these portals for?
Now, you have just said that they are interested in portals. They clearly found it when they followed you. They clearly want it, and we need to know why.
Well, other than the fact that VS is getting more powerful by the day by some mechanism, however
I
that
assume
is.
I assume it's because the portals are open and more shadow spills onto the material plane every single day. But let me throw this out there: every door goes both ways. We've got to remember that. These are portals. They're not just for someone to walk in, they're for people to walk out as well. So, I mean, I would speculate this: if I was on the other side of a portal and I wanted a bunch of doors nearby to me that I could then travel large distances in a very short period of time or spread influence, I would want those doors close to my home or my place of business, so that it would be easily accessible for my creatures or my shadow beings to exit at my command. I mean, I'll throw a crazy thought out there to the table, and Mayanora of Shadow's family, Buckland, Lex, let's all see what we think about this, but maybe we go through the portal and we see what's on the other side.
If we know it is safe. Now, I have a question along that. Two things. One is authority, and I will get back to that in a moment. It is just coming to my head. The other one those creatures we fought, those gargoyle-looking creatures, when did they arrive?
And you see both Paige and Dream sort of looking for a moment, and I am not quite sure now you mention it.
So, okay, my question, and again it's sort of to the room as she looks around to everyone. Those creatures were not shadows, so again, not knowing enough about it, I have made the assumption that the Shadowfell is full of shadow creatures. And yet, if this makes sense in our village, but what with these creatures? They do not seem to be shadow. So are they from the Shadowfell, and the Shadowfell as a unfortunate name, similar to our family? Or are these creatures from something else, or somewhere else? What I'm saying is they do not match up with either the Shadowfell, or the shadows are from somewhere other than the Shadowfell. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Maynor is going to chime up at this point, but Jewel, they were of shadow. When you killed them, when you destroyed them, they returned to shadow.
Well, that maybe makes sense. I'm just... It is unusual. We have... Lex, we saw those creatures... we didn't see them. Well, no, we did see them. But we also saw accounts of people in Thalissa being drained of their life force. That was also by shadows?
Yeah, because if you remember, I got attacked by one myself. Maybe that might be how VS is gaining his power, by literally taking it from other people.
So, yes, perhaps we have been led astray, and we are not looking for some other plane. We are looking for the Shadowfell. Aegeus, I think you may be right. If it is uncorrupt, then perhaps we need to go through the Shadowfell portal.
I mean...
Oh,
go on.
Tom can't hear you.
You're on mute.
Or you haven't mentioned, talked about planes and portals, but we also went into a different place, a different dimension in our dreams. I don't know if that is a different mechanism for us to explore any of these other, Shrouded Lord and whoever else.
Yeah.
Yes,
familiar with dream magic?
No,
Kevin?
we really are not. Are our dreams connected to shadows or other planes?
I can't answer that question, but I do know that there is power in dreams. I wish I understood this. If I'd focused on something different, maybe I.
Is this Jules Mon talking, or Mayanor?
No, this is Mayanor at this point.
Okay.
Do you have any... well, two things, actually. One, I don't think we're ready or prepared or powerful enough to meet these creatures on their home turf. I think they're probably in a weakened state when they come to our side. If we went to the Shadowfell, I think we might be overrun, and some of us may die again.
Of course,
looking at you, Joel. But secondly, Mrs. of Shadows, do you have any books in your collection around dreams, magic, considering you used to study it yourself?
Let's just rewind that back a bit. Die again?
Oh yeah, Jewel died, but it's okay because we saved her.
Multiple times.
Jewel, and you were going to tell us this when?
I was hoping for never. I'll be honest. Yes, really was going to go with that one.
Hey, but we did bond through trauma because we went through hell, nearly literally, to bring her back.
Okay,
it's okay. She came back.
Look, okay, fine.
I think we need a moment.
I may have been attacked by some. Was they demons, devils, horrible creatures. My soul spent a small time in the astral plane, and when the wonderful friends managed to return me, I may have had a small connection to someone called the Watcher, but I'm fine, and I have been very glad to get home. One of the very reasons why I'm glad to...
She's underselling it. Tell him about your cool powers.
Lex, will you shut up? So yes, I may have got a few weird tricks. It freaked me out when it started, but yes, during combat I seem to be able to attack more than one person at a time. Anyway, yeah, that's fun. Thanks, Lex.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We are not... This is difficult to hear as a parent. You have to understand that.
This is why I was trying to keep it from you.
Paige, I need just one moment. She throws it to me, I don't know what to say. Well, you are here. This is the important thing. I can tell from the group death it's not, well, I assume somehow working skeletons, that some story here to do with, excuse me, that wine is very strong. To
No
do
offense
with
taken.
death. No, I did not mean it's,
None taken. It's all good.
Thank you. Be careful, Jewel. You have come back somehow once. Death is... Do not mess with that matron or... those gates.
I was so scared when I returned because I did not believe I would. I still barely remember any of my time away. And I was just a kid when I left. I know that now. I am glad to make it home, and I feel a lot older, not much wiser. It was a scary ride to get back here. I should not have left. But I am glad I did, because I met these wonderful people, my friends. But no, do not think it has not left its mark.
Our fates are
Dream
intertwined, though,
will.
which is why you were always meant to leave the village, Jewel. We were always meant to meet.
Dream will
Under-
chime in at this
under what
point and look
circumstances?
towards Lex. I think you very honestly stole the words from my mouth there. I don't need to cough. One sec.
At this moment, Jewel will
That
basically...
taste you made everybody's coughing.
Jewel will run up to her mum, just give her like a big hug. You know, one of the just a crushing hug. She obviously is very glad that she's back and very sorry that she kept this from her family. And you're muted.
You're on mute.
That's what I was asking. I hit the button that many times I didn't know whether I was muted or unmuted. So I don't know how many coughs got through. Yeah, I was just like, mute. Anyway, so yeah, Dream will sort of take the hug and just look to you, Lex. I don't know what fate has in store for the 4 of you, 5 of you. You sort of ignored your friend outside. I hope they're okay. The 6 of you, I guess. Look after each other.
I don't suppose you have any books on your shelf that, I don't know, that has any former of your former life where you used to practice magic? Because I'm willing to try and learn spells outside of my repertoire if it'll help the group. I'm thinking like healing spells.
All misunderstood something very, very fundamental. I have The ability I have not studied.
Oh, so you're not a wizard. Right, tick that off me. Guess her subclass list. Okay. Was you born with a gift?
I do not practice magic. I do not trust it.
Okay. Do you have a book, though?
And I may have a... But what, are you looking at anything in particular?
Long story short,
Neuromancy.
I'll try and become the group's healer and learn a spell I don't have. To stop Jewel from dying, I'm trying to console her mother. I'm saying I'll try and be half cleric without multi-classing, obviously, but I'll learn
Well...
healing hands or some shit.
I may have come across a particular scroll from a trader as they passed through once. I'm going to take out a scroll and it's just going to place it in front of you. This is a single use.
I'll save it for
Please
Jewel
don't
then.
get yourselves in a position where you have to use it. And just
cannot
pushes
promise
it
that.
forward toward you. No, I suppose we're going to have to accept that fact as well.
Yeah.
Mrs. of Jewels. Of Shadows.
Shadows, my dear.
Sorry, yeah.
Just call me
Lost
Dream,
mind.
Kevin. It's perfectly fine.
Are you sure?
Absolutely, my dear.
Feels a bit weird to call you Dream in front of your husband. I'm just gonna say that, but that's just me. Kevin,
Why?
sorry.
That's my name.
Don't worry.
I have to say, Edgius, I think it is rather more interesting that it has been a name all my life, and yet we have started getting messages and visions via our dreams.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. Scrolls, dreams, books, spells. Have you heard of oneromancy? Or anything like that?
Dream is going to stand there and just... But Maynora will chime up and... Where did you hear that word?
Just on our travels, we came across someone that told us about it and also could cast it. And I think it might be important. I mean, if we could develop Lex, I think...
I mean, I've got a spell scroll about it.
And we have components. We have everything that we need except for, I guess, the steps that it would take to... I don't know what I'm talking about, but to cast the spell. And this is
If you have
about us coming together
the
in our
scroll
dreams.
and the components...
Yep.
I've not studied it, but fuck it, I'll give it a go.
What, right now?
Okay.
Maybe not right now. I don't... do we want to... Maynora at this point is just sort of...
No, Lex,
Yes,
let's
Jewel, sorry.
let's see if we can figure out the portal. Understandably, I think we all want to know whether we should go through it or close it. So we cannot make any plans. If we are not going through it, we should close it. We should find out information about these dreams. And then, unless anyone else has any more of an idiotic idea than this, but perhaps we should try and make it to the caverns and caves under the crystalline circle.
I thought the same thing. That was my second option behind find the orc dude who's a horizon walker or whatever.
Yes.
And if Maynora is willing to do the dream spell, that may actually... Because I'm assuming we want to go into VS's or Klein's dreams and attack them, right? Attack them in their dreams. And potentially use the red mushroom to destroy their memories or their... Something like that. If Maynora has a closer connection to VS, she may be able to actually find him in his dreams.
Just, Lex. I am not going anywhere near his head. Dreams or otherwise. I will help you with yours. I am
Okay.
He
Plan B.
scares the
You
life
teach
out
me
of
how
me.
to do it, and then I'll attack him in his dreams if needs be. Okay.
Manora, you know the damage that you've done to
Oh,
countless, you know, whether you want to mention in the Crystalline Isles, you know, people you've already told us that you killed, the decisions that you've made so far along your life. I'm on a path of redemption myself. My path of redemption and my bad decisions led to you making bad decisions. Maybe this is a moment where together you and I can look that fear in the face and possibly fight against it. Now, Jewel, I know you were not keen at the beginning, but Mayanora has greater insight. Not only that, but they are someone who is clearly powerful with the arcane forces that were granted to them by this wrong decision. Now, Mayanora, I turn it to you and to the rest of the table, but I think you should come with us, and whether that be going into the portal, closing the portal and then going to the Crystalline Isle, or whatever capacity it is, you have done wrong. You have actively hurt people. Why not use what you got against the person who gave it to you? Why not turn around like I am trying to do and possibly use what was gifted to you as a weapon against them? Now, I understand that as an apprentice, you probably are thinking, well, my skills don't compare to that of your master. However, if you were to join us, together as a group, we have already done incredible things. You know Dragon from the Elders and More Stacy? I'm sure you understand his power. I'm sure you could feel his power. We apprehended him in less than 5 minutes once we were in his office. We took him outside and interrogated him. He had no way of countering us. As a group, we are exceedingly formidable when we put our minds
Yes,
together.
I'm sorry, but he underestimated us because he was arrogant.
And
That
who's
arrogance.
to say Vane is not?
Oh,
Who's to say that the
be-
rest aren't?
because I
And
have
they
a
would not
feeling.
expect her to join us.
No, because I think I was in the same room as him. I know I was in the same room as him, and by the sound of how Mayan talks of him, I'm lucky to be alive. He simply
are we
decided
all.
I was too much of an insignificant thing to get rid of me, because he could have done. And yes, I understand that. I believe that Mayon is on the same path as we are. So we are on the same lines. I am not speaking for anyone, but maybe we are all working towards it. Am I
Just
wrong,
make a
Mayon?
persuasion check, please.
Aegeus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Can I? Anyone else? Anyone else thinking what I'm saying is a good idea? Anyone wanna help? Action.
I don't know how. I don't know how.
I'm not gonna give you
No.
advantage based on what Jules just said, but you can roll it straight.
Ah, God. Let's see. Come on. If ever there was a nat 20 needed. That is a 17.
Mayanora is going to look towards Jewel. I have spent a year running. I spent a year in fear of what might happen to me if I let him get his hooks in again. But Aegeus, you make one hell of a point. And I'm pretty sure I should have been insulted in there somewhere, but if I can help, then I will.
That's what I like to hear. Well,
let me get this
look,
straight. He does not want to kill you. He wants to turn you again. Is that right?
I don't know what he wanted from me. I just know what happened to Jane. And I don't want to become one of those creatures.
Then we are all on the same path.
And you're safest with us than you are by yourself. I mean, clearly, you know. I mean, you're clearly very powerful. But
Yes, Edgius, because nothing has ever happened to us.
you've seen you can see that we bring some things to the table, some stuff, some bits, bobs, odds, ends, you know.
I so
but
wish that
man-
one of Edgius' ribs just falls off at that moment.
Edge's finger falls onto the table. He picks it up, pops it back into place. Look, guys, we have a formidable team here. With the addition of Mayanora, we can easily tackle what's in there as long as we strategize and dream. If you can provide us with any information that would maybe help us on information on the Shadowfell and things like that, we can then possibly make an educated decision whether we go into that portal or not. And then if not, I agree with Jewel. I think we head to the Crystalline Isle. I think Mayanora, you are our lead, and we will get in there. Hopefully we can disguise you. We can all go in disguise, or maybe even not. I don't know. I don't know.
Disguises won't work against the all-seeing eye of the leader. So it's best as going as we are, I think.
Well, there we go. Well, then I guess we head towards the Crystalline Isle. But I think while we've got this portal open here, before we leave and try and close it, and Mayanora, as you are here with us, you're going to have to help us. And that's where this journey of redemption is going to begin for you, is helping us close this portal. Whether that's us coming out of it and closing it, or us just closing it outright, I think the plan tomorrow is we decide what we do with this fucking portal. Jewel, I think while we prepare for whatever the next stage of this is, take the time to be at home. If we can help your village in any sort of way, if we can rebuild any of the damage caused by Lex's, and Edgius points out the window to like a singed part of one of the houses from the firebolt from the lightning bolt that Lex let off during the battle. If we can help with anything that we, around the village, if we can help rebuild, possibly, assist in digging a new well, maybe. We'd be happy to do so while we're here, but we need to make some preparations, and then we need to start making moves, because if he's getting stronger, guys, then, and I think we need to start taking this fucking seriously. We need to start working on like battle formations and like how best we work as a team. I'm not sure anyone else is thinking this around the table, but when we get into combat, it's every person for themselves. We need to start understanding that this is a team, and we need to start understanding each other's benefits.
Then, Edgius, I think this is the best moment for us to regroup. Let's try and help the village, and let's try and work out how we can work together in a safer environment. I say that because this is my own village. I realize it does not feel that same way for all three of you, but
starting to feel a little bit safer.
Kevin,
Jewel,
Kevin.
Yeah, it actually does, Jewel. I don't think I mentioned it to you. I think I did to you, Edgius, but I've been to this village before. I came through here when I was a kid, and I'm looking at Dream at this point, and I say, I'm not sure if anyone noticed me coming through, but I came through here as a kid, so there's a connection that I can't put my hand on. And look, Edgius, yeah, we need to battle plan and all this other stuff, but I'm thinking, Mayanora comes on board with y'all, who's going to be here to protect the village? And Jewel, your family, I can stay. Maybe me and Mace can stay, and
It's at this
we'll
point
catch up with
then,
you at some point.
as Kevin starts speaking this, you hear a frantic Boys, folks, you might, there's some stuff happening. You might want to come outside quickly, please.
Jewel is
There's
over the
just
table,
banging on the door.
over the table and to the door.
Very good. So you
Battle
kick
formation!
the door open, and Mace just sort of sidles out of the way, like, "Oh shit, you're coming out!" And you look back towards the well, and you can just see as shadow after shadow after shadow is just emanating out. And Mayanora is just going to stand in the doorway and look to you all. He's found us.
That's bad timing, because I've not had a long rest, so I've not got a lot of spells left.
In this moment, you hear screams as shadows begin to dive into houses. And indeed, a shadow comes and dives towards you as Mace then just stands before, takes out his mace and just and batters it across to the side. Well, Cavan, my boy, you said we were staying. Who are we protecting?
Everyone.
We all
All
are.
of it.
Mayanora is going to turn to Jewel, Lex, Aegeus. If they're staying, we need to get down there. That's the source. You said you could close it, Lex. Let's go close it. We don't have time to waste.
Yes. Let's go.
Aegis is going to cast Mage Armor on Lex,
Thank fuck for
Lex,
that.
Cavan, Lex and Jewel. So I imagine you guys have... Cavan, what's your AC versus Jewel's?
Oh, mine's bullshit. 16.
Mine's 14.
60, mine's 11.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Okay. Cavan and Lex are going to get Mage Armors.
Remind me to buy a Kevlar trench coat.
As they're making their way toward the portal, and Mace and I are kind of assessing what's going on, I take one quick step towards Aegeus, and I said, hey, we separated once. Fuck it. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. Take care of yourself, man. Take care of those two as well, and I'll do my best over here.
Lex, do you have those sending stones?
I think I've given them to everybody, haven't I? I've got one, but Captain Romeo's got one, and then who did I give it to?
The Magistrate.
The magistrate's got
Magistrate.
one.
Yeah. Jewel will go to both of her parents.
I've got
Get
one
it.
for Magistrate and one for Brom. Brom's got the other one.
Yeah. We'll go to them. Get everyone safe. I don't know where. Just get some safe. As many as you can. We will try and close this right now.
I go to
Both
Jewel.
going to embrace you into a big hug as well. Carry on, Cavan.
No, after they embrace and they separate, and Jewel starts separating, I come up to Jewel and I say, Jewel, I got this. You do what you need to do on your end. I'll protect your family.
They do not need protecting. They are going to protect everyone else. You are going to help. Now get out there. We all know what we need to do.
There's too many shadows out here, Jewel. We are going to have to battle them up here. Cavan and I have got this. Haven't we, boy? After all, I said I'm with you to the end of the line.
We got this. You guys do your thing. Next time we meet, we'll raise a glass. Godspeed, guys.
Jewel will use her feline agility to absolutely cane it towards the
Before
well.
you do that, Mayanora turns to Cavan. You may not accept this, but still, good luck. And she's just going to kiss you on the cheek, and then she's going to turn to Jewel as Jewel goes to run away and just wraps her hand around the tail and casts Mage Armor on Jewel.
Sweet.
I'm going to look at Cavan and I'm going to say, Aegeus is going to hold Cavan by the shoulders and be like, fucking always going off on your own, you sandbagging son of a bitch.
I didn't want this, man, but we gotta do what's right now, and you guys are best equipped to go that way, and me and Mace can hold down the fort here. We will definitely.
He's not
see you
alone,
again.
Aegis.
Aegis is gonna put a hand on Mace's face and just push him away, as he like embraces Cavan by the back of the head and kind of places his skull against Cavan's head and goes, "In this life or the next, brother." And then is gonna turn around and chase after Jewel and draw his Wakasashi, and then is gonna light a hand on fire as he runs after Jules.
Nice. Mayanora is going to turn, hug, dream. Thank you for everything. My turn to give something back now. And she is going to turn and just sprint off after Aegis and Jewel. Lex, what are you doing?
Following everybody, I'm heading straight for the well.
Very good. So as our four Portal, or the four members of Team Portal sprint off towards the well as these shadows just emanate out, we watch as Paige pulls out that curved dagger. Remind me, my love, when this is over, it's time to go back to the old ways. And Dream is just going to pat him on the shoulder. Maybe I do study some of those books when we finish this. Cavan, dear boy, I am so glad you're here. As we
Cavan,
are going to carry on.
No, Cavan just gets in a fighting stance and says, "To the end, I've got you. Family." And then you hear Mace just lift his mace, or you see Mace lift his mace to the sky. By Paragon's will! And just runs forward headlong into some shadows. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session. But as we have hit a particular milestone, everyone is going to level up.
Oh god, I should have said at the beginning of the session.
Oh, that means I've got more choices to make.
Oh,
There
do
we
we
go.
do we want to roll now?
I'm actually going to
do I take a fee? Or do
Oh
I
yeah,
do
well, let's
ability
wait.
score
Yeah, let's
improvement?
wait. Let's wait.
Let's hold it. So, and just on that note, I don't want to sort of cripple that cliffhanger too much. There's been a slight emergency change of schedule, shall we say, due to some travel I've got to do. Next week will not be episode 48, my friends. We've got to wait an additional week for that, where we will be joined by the Eldritch Press, as I said, as a guest star. But next week, I am actually away because I've got to do some travel for work. So the four gentlemen here are going to take you on a little bit of a recap from our previous recap all the way up to episode 47 of just what's happened, so that when we come into episode 48, everybody should be fully up to date as to what's happened over the last sort of few, I think it's just about sort of 10 or 12 episodes, and then we can go straight into whatever the hell is down in this well, and then Tom will make his welcome return the week after as well. So with that being said, thank you all, my cast members and my crew members, for being amazing as always. That was fantastic. I'm also going to give each and every one of you a point of inspiration for all of the fantastic RP that was in there, so please take that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you all for supporting us as well. So everybody that's watched on Twitch, watched on YouTube, thank you for all the love and the support. Thank you for the follows that we've had tonight. It's amazing. Thank you for everybody that's commented in chat. We love you all. For anybody that is watching for this after the fact, we hope you've enjoyed the show. Please hit the like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube, all of those different things. If you're on the podcast, as I say, ratings, reviews, please just let us know how you're enjoying the show. And if you do feel like it, drop into the Discord. But with that being said, I will see you in a couple of weeks. The rest of the crew will see you next week. We love you all. Stay safe, and we will see you next time.